Little Sunday fun day family training for this video. I fell off a little bit last week. It just got super busy with Halloween and things like that. So I filmed videos from those training sessions, but I wasn't able to get the audio done. So time's passed. We'll just move on. This was, again, like I said, a Sunday session. My family was out here. Sans my wife. My wife was inside, but my kids were out here with me, which I always love. Having my kids out there on Sundays makes the whole session probably about 2 hours long when it's usually about 45 minutes to an hour. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love having my kids out here. Here we have a lateral squat in a front rack position. I subbed out my sissy squats, put these in. I still wanted a quad movement, which is why you can kind of see me driving my knee excessively far forward so I can get more quad stimulus. But I also wanted something that's going to work on this front rack position so it translates over better to my hang power cleans and all those variations. So that's why I had that in. And then also to work on my mobility. Again, my training is definitely geared towards more of a concurrent model. I'm trying to bring up a lot of different qualities at one time. One of those is my mobility and flexibility, just so I'm capable throughout my life and being able to, use full ranges of motions and things like that. So you can see I was saying something to my daughter. She could tell that it was getting hard, so she was telling me to stop, and I was telling her that's when you got to keep going. You got to give high effort even when you're tired and things get hard. So I'm getting ready for pull-ups. My son is pretending he's Donnie, or Donatello for those of you who are uninitiated. My daughter's goblet squats are looking better and better and better. I'm super happy that she likes doing this stuff out here. I just try and gas her up as much as possible and encourage her. She's more than capable to do anything that she wants from an athletic standpoint. She is just like me, where she's extremely cautious, and that cautiousness leads to an unconfident mindset. So I just try and make her as confident as possible. One of the things I talk about to her is how unconfident I was when I was 7 years old, and I don't want her to do that same thing. I don't want her to wait until she's 38 years old to be confident in her abilities. She has the abilities to be successful in whatever physical feat and mental feat she wants to try and conquer. So just trying to gas her up, as the kids say. Like I said, this session takes a long time, but it's okay. Lateral squats. If you go back and look at my lateral squats, you'll see my heel comes off the ground. As I said, I'm trying to improve my overall flexibility. So we're talking about hip and ankle. My ankles are just trashed from when I was younger playing basketball. I broke my ankle twice, lots of sprains, strains. So, and then obviously there's a genetic component to being inflexible. So the ankles just aren't there. So I try and do things like that to where I kind of just trying to shove the joint into the position that I want, and hopefully my mobility improves over time, which is what I'm trying to do with my ankle. But here we are with some pull-ups. And again, the lateral squat, is it the best quad exercise? Of course not. But again, like this training is for everything, not specifically just bodybuilding or powerlifting. I'm just trying to, be a jack of all trades and be slightly above average in comparison to everyone else. So I'm gassing him up too. He's getting after it. Squats look good. Good job, little man. Elbow still hurts a lot, but pull-ups are getting better. Been able to add some weight. I did a 100-pound pull-up over the summer. Those were sets of 8 at 30 pounds, and I think I moved up 30 to 35 later in the week. This was on a Sunday. I'm doing this audio about 5 days later, so I think I ended up going up to 35 later in the week. Got some lateral raises. I would like to do a bodybuilding competition and a powerlifting competition. I wanted to do it in the same weekend. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. I can't find anything that local. So what I'll probably end up doing, and I have never done this before, I've just done either bodybuilding or powerlifting, but I think I can, if you suspend your delusions that you have about being remarkable at something, it makes it a lot easier to sell yourself on just being relatively good at whatever you choose to do. So what I mean by that is I have no illusions or delusions, or however you want to phrase it, that I'm going to be elite at powerlifting or bodybuilding. I've mentioned this several times. I'm 38. I've been competing in powerlifting since 2010. I've been training since I was in high school. Like, the genetics are the genetics. there's nothing I'm going to do to be an elite bodybuilder. I probably will never get a pro card in natural bodybuilding. I'm never going to be an elite level powerlifter. So that's just not the goal anymore. The goal is I want to compete in things because it holds me accountable. I enjoy competing. I like having my kids see me compete. I just like it. It gives me focused training. So I ramble about this because I'm not trying to make my training overly powerlifting specific or overly bodybuilding specific. I've done that, and I don't think it's yielded the gains that I thought it would. So we're just trying to be, again, above average, good at a lot of different things instead of trying to put so much energy into being elite at something I'm never going to be elite in. So, I think it'd be pretty cool if I can do a powerlifting meet in or a bodybuilding competition in May, and then a week later do a powerlifting meet. I think that's a feat that not many people can do. Are the numbers going to be great in powerlifting? No. Will I finish in the top 5 for bodybuilding? I don't know. I did last time. Maybe I can do it again. But that's the goal, right? So trying to appeal this channel to older guys, dads, moms, people who just like traditional, like quote unquote, and I hate using this term, but hardcore training, like training that you used to see, like West Side, Super Training, Meta Militia, like all these gyms. And again, I realize it's not super hardcore when my when my kids are around, but what I mean by hardcore gyms is like the actual traditional definition of hardcore gyms. Like that's the type of training we're going to. Just train because you love training and because you're just trying to get better, and it's just something that you enjoy doing. It's not about social media. It's not about any of this. Here I am. Side note, I got the Winter Spice Sprite Zero, which is fantastic. I love all these diet sodas that they're coming out with now. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. I apologize. Did a squat single. As you can see how locked in I am on Sundays with my kids around. I didn't even write down what the single was. I think it was I ended up doing 355 and rated it as an RPE of 6. And then here are the back downs. I ended up doing 3 sets of 4 and 1 set of 3, trying to leave 2 or 3 reps in reserve. I was supposed to do a hang power clean after this, but this session ended up being 2 hours because I was helping my kids, with their bikes and kicking soccer ball with them in between sets and disciplining and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up cutting the hang power clean. I also cut out and this is not just this session, but all subsequent sessions, I cut out my stiff leg deadlifts. Deadlifts are just one of those exercises that if I do it at a high volume or high frequency, it never yields the benefits. It just is one of those exercises that the more I do it, the worse I get at it. So I'm actually pulling back on my hinge movement volume and frequency. So I'm only deadlifting once a week on my second lower body day. Not doing stiff legs on this day. Just trying to rely on my front squats to translate over to my deadlifts, which every time I've focused on that, that's actually yielded good results for me. Trying to have my Nordics, my back extensions, my leg curls, have those things. My rows, all my back work transfer over to my deadlift. So we'll see. I don't know how well it's going to go, but I think it'll go well based on previous data and looking at logbooks and stuff like that. So we'll see come May. So I think the goal is May, I'll do the Conquer OCB bodybuilding competition. And then a week later, there's a USAPL local competition in Virginia. I don't like USAPL. For that matter, I don't really like any powerlifting federation. But that seems to be the closest one that I can find that's a week later than the bodybuilding competition. So yeah, so that's the goal. I encourage anyone who likes this type of training to subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you guys can get some ideas from this. I do online training as well. You can find that through my Instagram, CoachWood87. Other than that, as always, if you guys like this stuff, comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever, so you can always stay up to date with what I'm doing with my training. I appreciate it as always. Thank you guys for watching.